The Tilta Nucleus M is a wireless FIS lens control system. FIS is short for focus, iris and zoom, which means that this is a 3-axis system. In addition to being a wireless follow focus, we also have 2 more axes, allowing us to control the iris and also the zoom when paired with zoom lenses and multiple motors. The Nucleus M is a completely self-contained system, meaning it doesn't matter what camera you're using it with. As long as one motor can connect to a D-tap port, either on the camera or directly on the battery, you can daisy chain that power to multiple motors, and it doesn't matter if it's an Arri, a Red or a Blackmagic camera. The only time it matters what camera is being used is when you want to be able to run-stop record from the Nucleus. In that case, there are different cables for different cameras. To accommodate different needs, Tilta sells the Nucleus M in multiple configurations. You could buy the full kit for $1,200, and that would give you the hand unit, 2 motors, as well as 2 hand grips that can be used for controlling focus and zoom, for example, while operating the camera. And if you don't need the full kit, you can buy any of the partial kits. Depending on which kit, that could be the hand unit and 1 motor, 2 motors, or maybe you want the handles instead and get a kit with 1 motor and 1 handle, or both handles and 2 motors. There is no kit that includes 3 motors, so if you want full focus, iris and zoom control, you would have to buy 1 extra motor separately. And that's what I've done. Currently I have 1 motor, but if multiple jobs require a second motor for zoom control, and I want to be able to provide that service as well and use my own follow focus instead of letting the production go to a rental house, then I'll simply add a second motor to my kit. And there's no real hassle of doing this. Simply buy a motor with the 7-pin to 7-pin cable and daisy chain the 2 motors together, and you're set. The wireless range of both the hand unit and the hand grips is 1000 feet, or roughly 300 meters. The Nucleus M has quite powerful motors delivering 2.5 Newton meters of torque at 14.8 volts. I've used it with some really stiff vintage Hawk C-series anamorphic lenses, and the Nucleus handled it fine. The motors can be powered through any power source that has a voltage output ranging from 7.2 volts to 24 volts. Both the hand unit and the handles are powered with 2 18650 rechargeable batteries, and those are not included in any of the kits. My experience with the Nucleus M has so far been very positive. No real issues such as reliability or anything that would disrupt a shoot. Of course there are some things that could be improved, or features of more expensive systems that would be very nice to have though. One thing I've noticed when using the Nucleus is that the focus wheel on the hand unit becomes much stiffer when it's cold. On an outdoor shoot in the winter, for example, you can really notice this. If you prefer it stiffer, that's a matter of preference, but the fact that it changes depending on temperature could potentially throw you off when pulling focus. Another thing that might be an inconvenience is the fact that you can't see the stop or focal length on the hand unit. If you're using a motor for the iris and the DP wants a iris pull from 2.8 to 5.6, you can't see those numbers on the hand unit, and there isn't really a good way of marking it yourself either. If the iris would be controlled with a slider, then you could simply mark it yourself once the motor is calibrated. But since there is no slider on the Nucleus M, we can't do that. Well, technically you could put a piece of tape on the iris wheel, but since it is located on the back side of the hand unit, you can't really see it if you want to pull focus at the same time. If you are using lenses that output lens data to the camera, then this isn't an issue, since you can see the iris on your monitor. But if it doesn't, you only have one way of telling the iris position through the hand unit, and that is by a number indicating motor position, a value from 0 to 999. So what you'll have to do is look at the lens, set it to 5.6, note the value on the hand unit, and then go back to 2.8. When doing the pull, look at the hand unit and turn the iris wheel till you hit that number. If you need to do a focus pull at the same time and can't really stare at the numbers on the hand unit, another workaround would be to do a manual calibration of the iris motor. That way you can calibrate it to only go between 2.8 and 5.6. and simply turn the iris wheel the full distance. But that is quite far, basically 360 degrees. But with some good technique, it is possible. And when it comes to zoom, it's the same situation as with the iris, but instead of a wheel, we have a zoom rocker. The speed can be set on the hand unit, and if you don't have a motor assigned to the iris wheel, that wheel will instead control the zoom speed. And that is the maximum speed, when the rocker is pushed all the way up or down. You can of course ease into it or slow down through the zoom rocker. If you're working in a darker environment, which often is the case on set, especially if only the set is lit and everything else is dark, you can still see your focus ring and marks thanks to the LED built into the focus ring. And this is strong enough to be visible even if you use tape over the marking disc. If you want to add your focus marks into the hand unit, you can do so by simply double tapping the mark button to add a mark. And when you're pulling focus, the hand unit will vibrate once you hit the mark. Or you can of course mark it on the marking disc as well. Or if you want to map the full turn of the focus knob to your two focus marks, simply go to your first mark, hold down the mark button and turn the knob to your second mark, then release the mark button. The full turn of the focus knob is now from mark A to mark B. Above these buttons we have a big red record button, and this is where run-stop accessory cables come in. If you want to start and stop recording from the hand unit, you'll buy the correct run-stop cable. All of them go from a 7-pin connector that plugs into one of the motors, and then the other end goes into the camera's run-stop input. Arri cameras use a 3-pin Fisher connector, except the Alexa Mini, which uses the EXT port on the camera. But in my experience, most rental houses often include an adapter to 3-pin Fisher with the camera. The different cables for different cameras is not a fault of the Nucleus M, but the camera manufacturers that use different connections. Other accessories that can be worth looking into is number 1, batteries. And this is if you want to be able to turn on the hand unit at all, because it doesn't actually ship with any batteries. It does come with a charger though. The unit takes two 18650 batteries, and the battery life is great. A pair of batteries will easily last you all day. But just to be on the safe side, in case I forget to charge one or something like that, I have 6 of them, so 3 pairs. I also bought an extra gear for the focus motor, a thick 28mm gear. This one is only used for specific lenses, and that is lenses that extend and move the focus ring when focusing. In that case you need a gear on the motor that is longer and will allow the focus ring of the lens to travel without disconnecting from the motor. An example of that would be the Hawk Z-series anamorphic lenses I mentioned earlier. Without one of these 28mm gears, you can't pull focus on those lenses. Another accessory I would recommend is extra marking discs. If you're the type to pull focus 100% from the monitor and doesn't really care about having a focus scale on your hand unit, you'll be fine with the 3 included discs. But if you're like me and prefer to have discs marked with the focus scale for each lens, then picking up a few extras might be nice. I bought another 4 for a total of 7 discs. That way I can have marked discs for multiple lenses, and when swinging a lens, I simply switch out the disc and have a correct focus scale for the new lens. So why not get the cheaper Nucleus Nano instead? Well, for me the Nano isn't something I would feel comfortable bringing to a professional shoot. One reason would for example be the marking discs I just talked about. The Nucleus Nano doesn't have detachable marking discs. So just from that fact alone, it's already out of contention for me. But on top of that, it is a single axis system compared to the 3-axis Fizz on the M. The motor of the Nucleus M is very powerful. In fact, I normally keep it on the medium setting. But the Nano uses a different motor, which isn't nearly as powerful, so quick far pulls on stiff lenses would be limited by the torque of the motor and not your turning of the wheel. And telling the DP, sorry, that's as fast as we can go, isn't really something I want to do. The Nano can deliver torque up to 0.65 Newton meters when using a 5V USB source, and up to 1 Newton meter when using a 14.8 volt source. So even with the added boost when using DTAP, it doesn't really come near the 2.5 Newton meters of the Nucleus M. And to wrap it up, the Nucleus Nano simply doesn't look very professional. And that's not very surprising, since professional sets isn't really the market for the Nano. Whether you like it or not, when you're working as a freelancer, the image you present matters. And to an extent that also includes the gear you bring with you to the shoot. The Nucleus M is already a more budget-friendly option of systems like the Arri WCU-4, the Prestons, the C-Motion C Pro or the Teradek RT. Bringing a smaller, cheaper version of the already budget option isn't something I would like to do. But if you're using the Nano to pull focus on yourself when filming YouTube videos, I think that's right up its alley. But on a more professional shoot, I'd leave it at home. So what about the Arri WCU-4, the Prestons, the C-Motion C Pro, the Teradek RT? How does the Nucleus M compare to the more expensive follow focus systems? When compared to the Arri WCU-4, for example, you start to notice some things that you would love to have on your Nucleus M. Features such as being able to map lenses and store that data in the hand unit. That way you can use pre-marked discs and not have to mark your own for each lens. Next time you use the same lenses on a different job, you already have those mapped and saved, ready to go. Another benefit of pre-marked discs is that you can have the exact same scale and turn of the wheel across multiple lenses. And mapping doesn't just mean the focus, but also the zoom and iris, which would resolve the issues I talked about earlier. The display of the WCU-4 will show you your depth of field based on focus distance, iris and focal length. If you buy the license upgrade, you can also use the Arri hand unit to control the Arri cameras. You get the point. There are some very nice features that can be had if you decide to go with an Arri system instead. But here's the catch. The full kit for the Nucleus M goes for $1,200, and a partial kit with the hand unit and one motor costs $600, and that's brand new. A one motor kit for the Arri WCU-4 cost $14,000. The Teradek RT with one motor cost $9,000. When compared to these, the Nucleus M is a real steal. And this is the Nucleus M's real selling point. A solid fizz system, delivering lots of torque through the motors. Although not with all the extra bells and whistles when compared to some of the high-end options, but only costing a fraction of the price. And that pretty much wraps it up. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see some more, and I'll see you next time.